Hello students, welcome back to your science class. So students, in the previous class, in this chapter, that is force and pressure, we were talking about the forces. We have seen that what are the different effect of forces are there, and you know students that force is basically responsible for the change that we call as an effect, like the change in the shape, change in the size. So suppose you are having a sponge, so when you press it with your palm, with both of your palm, then what happen, you are applying force to it. So when you apply force to it, actually you are changing the shape and size of the sponge. Second thing, that by applying force we can change the direction of a moving body. So if an object is coming towards towards you, so by applying force we can change the direction. Suppose a ball is moving, and if you will apply your hand and just leave it immediately, what will happen, the speed of the ball that get reduced, as well as it may be that the direction of the ball will also get reduced. Suppose we had kept a scale and a ball is coming, so it will going to collide with that of the scale and changes the direction. So here we are actually by applying force changing the direction of the force. Again, by applying force we can change the speed of the force. We can increase or decrease the speed. So if you are applying a force in the same direction in which the object was moving, then that will be what help in increasing the movement of the body. Okay, and if you are applying a force which is just opposite to the direction of the motion, direction of the moving body, then the force will be what, the object will what, the speed of the object will going to be decrease. So this is one thing. Now if an object is kept at a rest, so when you apply a force to it, what will happen, it starts moving. So we can say here that by applying force we can make an object to move, a rest object to starts moving. Then by applying force we can stop a moving body. Yes, a ball, it is hit by a player and catch by another player. So when you catch it, you used to apply a force on it. So by applying force on the coming ball, we can stop the motion of the ball. Okay, so this is how we can change the motion, state of a rest or state of a motion of an object, of a ball. Now today we will going to see that what are the different types of the forces are there. So we have understood what is force, we have understood what are the different effect of force. Now we will try to understand that what are the different types of forces are there. The first one is the contact force, and the second one is the non-contact force. Talking about the contact force. So contact force is that which is actually occur when the two objects are kept with each other. That is called as a contact force. And a non-contact, obviously the forces which is acting between the two bodies which is not in a contact with each other, that is called as a non-contact force. One is a contact force, another one is a non-contact force. Now if we look at the contact forces, so contact force is what? It is the like muscular force is a contact force. How? Let us see here. Can you push or lift a book lying on a table without touching it? Can you lift a bucket of water without holding it? Generally, to apply a force at an object, your body has to be in contact with the object. Now let us see here. See, if we talk about the muscular force, So the muscular force is what? The force which is applied by the muscle. We called it as a muscular force. So here the two objects, when it is kept in a contact with, suppose if you are holding or if you are lifting a book or you are lifting a luggage or a bag, actually you are applying a force on it. So when you apply force on it, what happened? You are actually you are in a contact with the other object. You are actually touching the other object. So when we touch the other object, it will what we can say, it will what? It's a force only, and that force we called it as a muscular force. Okay, and this muscular force will enable us to perform all the activities. Okay, so here when the two muscles, when they are kept, when the two objects, when we are working something on an object with the help of the muscle, when our muscle are in the contact of that object, that is called as a muscular force. So you are doing any kind of a work, that will say is a muscular force. And how we can say it is a contact force? Because while doing so you have to touch the other object. So now you are in a contact with that of the other object, and thus it is a muscular force. Now let us move on and see the next. Now the contact may also be with the help of a stick or a piece of a rope. So when we push our object like school bag or lift a bucket of water, where does the force come from? This force is by the action of muscles in our body. And the force resulting due to the action of muscles is known as muscular force. So basically when we try to push anything, when we try to pull anything, when we try to lift anything, how even when we try to stretch anything, so we are actually applying a force, and this force is coming from what? It is because of our muscles. It is because of the action of our muscles. So the force which occurs, which is caused by the action of the muscle in our body, that kind of a force is what? It is a muscular force. So force resulting due to the action of muscle. Here it is given, force resulting due to the action of a muscle is known as the muscular force. Okay, so it occurs because of the muscles, that's why it is a muscular force. Now animals also make use of muscular force to carry out their physical activities. Like if we talk about the animals, so that is the muscular force. Now animals also use of the muscular force, students, like they used to do the physical activities and even the other tasks also. A lot of different tasks performed by the animals. Like if we talk about bullock, if we talk about horses, donkey or camel, they used to perform various tasks. Okay, and while performing these tasks, they use the muscular forces. Okay, so basically a lot of physical activities done by the sorry, by that of the animal only. And yes, if they are doing the physical activities, like if they are carrying something, if they are performing some task, so that will going to involve their muscles, and such kind of a force we called it as a muscular force. So muscular force is not only performed by the human beings but also by the animal. So any forces in which the muscles are used to perform any activity or to perform any task, such kind of a force is called as a muscular force. Okay, now if we talk about the muscular force, students, you will find that since muscular force can be applied only when it is in contact with an object, it is known as a contact force. When we will be able to perform the muscular force? Only when one object is in a contact with the other. If you are going to touch an object, if suppose you want to lift anything, if you want to pull or push anything, you have to touch the object. So while touching, you can apply the force to it, and since we are applying the force when the object is in a contact with the other one, such kind of a force is a contact force. So we can say that muscular force is what? It is a contact force. It means the object on which the force is applied or the force is to be applied, that must be in contact with the that will be in contact with the other, and that's why it is a muscular force. Now the next type of a force is what? That is frictional force. What is there in the frictional force? Obviously you know that friction is what? The ground gradually apply an opposing force when an object is moving. So that opposing force is called as the frictional force. Now let us see what is friction. Recall some of your experiences. A ball rolling along the ground gradually slows down and finally comes to rest. When we stop paddling a bicycle, it gradually stops down and finally comes to stop. A car or a scooter also comes to rest once its engine is switched off. Similarly, a boat comes to rest if we stop rowing it. Can you add some more such experiences? There are a lot of different examples are there, students, in which you will find that when we stop paddling, when we slow down, when we slow down that of the car or scooter engine, then what happens? Even when we are not rowing that of the boat, in all these cases we will find that the object comes to rest. Why an object comes to rest? Why a ball which is moving on a surface will speed starts getting reduced and finally it will stop? What is the reason behind to being stopped? Why it is not still moving? It is because ground is also applying a force on it. Not only ground, but there is a force which is applied on an object which is an opposing force which slows down the speed of a moving object and finally making it to stop. So that we called as a friction. Okay, so any two object, when it is in a contact with each other and when it is moving over the other, then there is an opposing force which is acting on the moving body. This force we called as a frictional force. Now let us see here. In all these situations, no force appears to be acting on the object. Yet their speed gradually decreases and they come to rest after some time. What causes a change in their state of motion? Could some force be acting on them? Can you guess the direction in which the force must be acting in each case? The force which is, now see, this is an important line, the force which is responsible for changing the state of motion of an object in all these examples is the force of friction. Basically, in all these examples you have seen here that the speed is decreasing gradually and ultimately it will comes to rest. So since the speed is continuously decreasing, making it to stop, such kind of a force is actually occur because of the frictional force. Okay, because of the friction. Okay, so the force which is acting on an object, on a moving object, opposing force, it is called as a frictional force here. Now let us see here. It is the force of friction only which is acting between the surface of the ball and the ground that brings the moving ball to rest. So a friction which is acting between the surface of the ball and the friction and that of the ground, it will bring the moving ball to rest. So force of friction is what? It is acting between the surface of the ball and the ground that brings the moving ball to rest. So when a ball is moving, that will comes to rest because of force of friction only. Similarly, friction between water and the boat bring it to stop once you stop rowing. The friction which is acting between the water and that of the boat will also, if you stop rowing, will also increases and ultimately make the row to stop. The force of friction always act on all the moving object and its direction, and and is always opposite to the direction of the motion. So here the force of friction, it is wherever an object start moving, there is a force starts acting on it, and that is called as the force of friction. And this force of friction make the object to stop, because it is acting in an opposite direction. Now since the force of friction starts arising due to the contact between the surface, it is also an example of a contact force. Now see here, how force of friction is working here. Force of friction is working since the two objects, when it is in a contact with each other, then the force arises, and then the frictional force arises. And since the force is acting between the two contact force, that's why it is a two object which is in a contact with each other, that's why it is also an example of a contact forces. Okay, second one is the non-contact force. So muscular force and frictional force, both of the forces are what? They are the contact force. There are some of the forces which are acting on the other object without touching it. Such kind of a force is called as a non-contact force. Let us find out that what are the different types of forces which comes under the category of a non-contact force. The first one is the magnetic force. Now, here an activity is given, students. Take a pair of bar magnet, place the longer side of one of the magnet over 3 round shaped pencil or wooden ruler. Now bring one end of other magnet near the end of the magnet placed on the roller. Make sure that the two magnets do not touch each other. Observe what happened. Next, bring the other end of the magnet near the same end of the magnet placed on the roller. Note that what happened between the force on the roller. Note what happens to the magnet placed on the roller every time another magnet is brought near it. So here we have taken a magnet, and that magnet is kept over 3 pencils. Now what happened? When we will take another bar magnet, and when we take, as you can see here in the picture itself, it is explaining. So here you can see that one of the bar magnet is kept over the 3 pencil. It is acting like a roller there. Another one is the magnet which is brought. So if the two ends are, at first you will say they are of a same pole, okay, but the second one you will say that the opposite poles are bring close to each other. So when the same pole are bring close to each other, and when the opposite pole are bring too close to each other, what we will find that in both of the cases there is some kind of a force acting between that of the two magnets. In the first one, the force of attraction is acting, and in the second one, force of repulsion is acting between them. So in the first one, the magnet start coming towards that of the another magnet, and in the second one, the magnet start repelling the other one. Ultimately, we can say that a magnetic force is acting on the magnet. But the thing that we have to understand here, it is not the magnetic force, but here we have to understand one more thing, that is okay, not force of attraction, force of repulsion, but yes, a force is acting between that of the two magnet, making it to attract or to repel from each other. Okay, so this force here, the magnet are not touching each other, even then also the force can be experienced by the other one. So ultimately, because of this only, it will comes in a category of a non-contact force. So does the magnet on the roller begins to move when the other magnet is brought near it? Does it always move in the direction of the approaching magnet? What do these observations suggest? Does it mean that some force must be acting between the two magnets? You have learned in 6th that like pole of two magnets repel each other, unlike attract each other. Attraction or repulsion between the object can also be seen another form of pull and push. So magnet can exert a force between them. A magnet can exert a force on another magnet in contact with it, and the force exerted by the magnet is an example of a non-contact force, since both of the magnet are not touching each other, but even then also the force of attraction and repulsion can be easily felt. The movement of the other magnet can easily tell that the force is acting on the other one. Okay, so this is a first example of a non-contact force. Okay.